Welcome back to our 2016 draft workout coverage here at the network. I'm Kurt Knox, and today is quarterback day at the draft workout, and the clear-cut quarterback, number one quarterback in this draft class, in my opinion, is Tommy Nabisco out of Biloxi A&M. Now, Nabisco is a guy that gives you everything that you want in a quarterback. He's the type of guy that you want your daughter to marry. You would give your wife a free pass if she was to have a fling with him while you're out of town on business. Tremendous when you meet him in person and on film for the Fighting Fleas of Biloxi A&M. Now, here's some of the tape that we were able to get from Biloxi A&M, and it doesn't even make sense how good he is. Big hands, oval kneecaps, good, tight, and firm bottom lip. Look at the way his wrist pops off radius when he throws. He's going to grade really high at practice without a defense. Just a fabulous talent. Now, Nabisco is a guy that doesn't have many weaknesses, but the one weakness he does have, I think, is just strictly from a lack of help that he got in college from the players around him, the coaching staff, the school itself. Lack of industrial support. He got zero help from the government. The economy tanked in 2010, and he was stressed about that as well. And even though he was 3-38 as a starter, the numbers and tape you could just throw out the window with this guy. And just from meeting him and looking at him, my gut is telling me that he can lead your franchise to victory for many years. Welcome to FootballGameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the Playbook, bringing you our world-renowned, highly anticipated but never duplicated April Fool's mock draft. Now, before we get started, if you'd like to check out our other April Fool's mock draft videos, feel free to go to the link at the bottom of the screen. And a lot of people always ask, hey man, why do you poke fun at so many people? Well, if people stop saying dumb shit, then they wouldn't get made fun of. So without further ado, let's kick things off with the Cleveland Browns, who own the number one selection. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you struggled in the passing game last year. You went through 5 different quarterbacks because of injuries, because your passing game suffered, your running game, which was decent, couldn't reach its full potential. Because of your passing woes, you suffered a lot of 3-and-outs, which put your defense on the field longer than normal, which made them appear worse than what they were, when in fact, they were just tired. All of which landed you the number one overall selection in this draft that features 3 elite talents at quarterback in Deshaun Watson out of Clemson, Deshaun Kaiser out of Notre Dame, and Patrick Mahomes out of Texas Tech. Now you have the opportunity here at number 1 to take the one that you want without leaving it up to chance until pick number 12. But you know what? Let's take a DN. Myles Garrett out of Texas A&M is the no-brainer, slam dunk, alley-oop, hole-in-one with one night stand with the model chick type of a selection. And when you pop in this tape versus the University of Texas Nacogdoches and University of Alabama at Ohio and Mississippi A&I, Cuba Tech, and Caribbean State, you see a guy that's Reggie White pre-snap, Jesus during the snap, and Julius Peppers post-snap. And if you slow down the tape against all of his SEC opponents, you cannot see him not get off a block. Come to find out, according to my sources, he was injured throughout his career during SEC play, so those games should be thrown out. But just like he did against the University of Kentucky Methodist, he aced the NFL scouting combine in Indianapolis. So if you're the Browns, you got to take him. Plus, the quarterback that you really want in this draft should still be there at pick number 12. Not that many teams between 2 and 12 need quarterbacks. Moving right along as we take a look at picks 2 through 11, as you can see, there was a run on the top quarterback prospects in this draft class. Everyone who needed a quarterback found their way into the top 12 to take one. The Rams even found their way into the top 12 twice to make it happen. Wait a minute. How did this get here? Wes Lunt. See, that's why you can't let children get close to the internet with their football theses and metric numeristics. Now, what pick number 6 is supposed to say is Deshaun Kaiser's cut. Nah. That don't sound right. How about Deshaun Watson with the apostrophe S? His brother. Nope. Nah, that's not good either. I mean, if we looking to fill a quarterback spot at number 6, I mean, truthfully, maybe the friend of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, think about it. Mahomes got a strong arm. I'm pretty sure he hang with dudes with other strong arms. So, nah. Back that up. Me. Oh, I'm nice. Nah. But that I'm too old. Anybody but see that wouldn't be nice to Wes Lunt. I mean, probably got a good family. So, delete that. Mitch Mitchell, like he wants to be called, Trubisky's. He's 6'2", 225, like everybody else in this class, and he's from Chapel Hill. All right, the Browns are back on the clock at pick number 12, and after there was a run on quarterbacks in the last picks, the Browns sit here already with the best defensive end prospect since Rakim, and now need a quarterback. And I know Browns fans long for the local kid, done good, win one for the Gipper and the Rust Belt Industries champion at QB, but when they had the chance to take one in 2004, they passed on him. Oh, by the way, that quarterback is still playing about an hour and a half away and is well on his way back to Ohio, though, but this time for the induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Anywho, there's still one good quarterback on the board that's coming off basically the same amount of starts as Trubisky, same amount of yards per attempt, basically the same touchdown to interception ratio, actually has more rushing yards and rushing touchdowns than him, and led his team to the ACC championship game in his first and only season as an FBS starting quarterback. Oh, by the way, he outplayed and won the head-to-head conference matchup against Trubisky this year, and that's Gerard Evans out of Virginia Tech. But let's take another pass rusher. Tyus Bowser out of Houston, man. You can't win Super Bowls or even get to a Super Bowl if you don't have a dominant pass rusher, and Bowser was a terror against DMP this year where they had to scheme around him, and that's why you don't see the numbers like you expect to see from an elite pass rusher. So with Bowser and Garrett, I believe the Browns are now Super Bowl ready. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock. In the first 3 weeks of last season, they were flying high behind rookie quarterback Carson Wentz and his 5.1 yards per attempt. He was protecting the football, and the Eagles were 3-0. All the major, mid-major, and Cinderella networks were all aboard the Wentz wagon, which was going nonstop from Pennsylvania to Canton, Ohio. But a funny thing happened on the way to Canton. Defensive coordinators realized that he was just throwing checkdowns and started to play tight coverage, and 14 intercepts followed en route to a 7-9 season. And it went from Wentz's the king to, oh my God, he needs weapons. Which brings us to an interesting point. When a quarterback does well, he makes everyone around him better. When he struggles, it's he needs help and weapons. Funny how that works, right? But what the Eagles fans and media did was even more genius. They found a scapegoat and blamed all of the failures on Nelson Aguilar, from drops to poor test scores in public schools to the slow economic growth within the region was blamed on number 17. So it's only right that in the draft that they select another scapegoat to take some of the focus off the fact that they may have overpaid for Wentz, and it doesn't help that a team within their own division got their franchise savior 3 rounds later for next to nothing. I feel like the Indianapolis Colts have to take Lonzo Ball at this point. If his Pops LeVar Ball is right, and this dude's supposed to be better than Magic's Lakers and Babe Ruth combined, then how could you pass on him? I think he would be a steal right here for Indianapolis. Baltimore needs receiver help seriously. They can't keep shopping at Costco for value-packed wideouts. They get a bona fide starter here and an actual good wideout here in Mike Williams out of Clemson. Washington Redskins get their quarterback of the future in C.J. Beathard out of Iowa. I mean, that's the joke. Picks 18 through 22 feature some real picks for those that can't stand humor. These 5 picks are for you. Also, for those that haven't already typed, player A won't be here at this pick, you, sir or ma'am, can go F yourself with all due respect. Next on the clock are the New York Giants, and they select running back Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford. Notice I said running back, not change of pace back, satellite back, slot running back, off-ball chain mover, Anglo-Saxon forward mover, special utility provider. Nope, none of that. Just a running back. The Oakland Raiders at Las Vegas are on the clock, and they select a prospect that's a terrific football player and would instantly upgrade the talent at the position of need for the Oakland Raiders at Las Vegas. But there's a question about his ability to grasp a playbook. So to answer that question or figure out why that is, because football is a rather simple game, we talked to his coach at Middle Texas State to find out. Firstly, I appreciate you for coming down here to speak about our prospects. That's the hallmark of a Middle Texas State Soul Gator. We take these kids that come into our program, part of that mommy culture, and we turn them into men. We grab them by the throats, we spit down their necks, and we turn them into young men. We coach them hard. It seems like you have a problem with the term mommy culture or daddy ball, but that's what we call it. That's how we see it. You voted for Bernie, huh? Our offense is actually called simple. So we want our guys to go out there and be able to execute at a high level against the opponent when we go out there and face the opposing team on any given Saturday that is faced upon our schedule. So, for example, we have no problem with our guys digesting the playbook. That shouldn't be a question. One of our simple play calls is, buck, nasty, banger, sausage, mish, mango, buster, fanger, fellatio, sucker, Euro step, two-way fake, 4021, boot right, Q corner. Now, when you call that play, you get to the line of scrimmage, and then it's a whole new set of things you have to worry about, because when you look at the audible process, if he sees the defensive lineman put his hand in the dirt and his knuckles are ashy, then you want to make a lucky lotion call, okay? And now if the outside backer lines up in a Nicky, you want to make a T-Baster call, and that way he aligns more tight to the line of scrimmage. Now, Oregon is our hot call, but Daytona and Freebase alerts Kentucky to make the move to the outside. So as you can see, we keep it real simple for our guys to go out there and execute flawlessly at a high level of what we expect of our football players here at Middle Texas State. I guess that cleared things up, or F things up even more. Anyway, we're moving on to the Seattle Seahawks, and according to the spider chart, they love guys that fit their off-ball aerial defender role well, but also need help at the human line of scrimmage trafficker position and a 2x2 stacked hash defender role as well. So according to the football intellectual illuminating maintenance numerics, the best player available is Taco Charlton out of Michigan. He's a guy that has a high floor with a low ceiling and wide walls, which is exactly what you want on defense. The Dallas Cowboys made the playoffs last year with a rookie 4th-round pick at quarterback that apparently only had to stand back there because the offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott, the big jumbotron at Jerry's World, did all of the work. Never mind the fact that virtually this same offensive line and running game was there in 2015 when 4 different quarterbacks suited up for the Dallas Cowboys and ultimately led them to the 5th overall selection. Never mind the fact that this was a rookie quarterback that had Mississippi State #1 in the country, somewhere they had never been in their entire program history, broke every passing record at Mississippi State, was also the MVP of the Senior Bowl, which featured 4 quarterbacks that the Browns, Patriots, and Eagles drafted ahead of him, won Rookie of the Year, and made the Pro Bowl with an impressive 23 touchdown to only 4 interception, 8 yards per pass attempt, 67% completion percentage, 104.9 quarterback rating, 6 rushing touchdowns, 5 fourth quarter comebacks, and 5 game-winning drive touchdowns type of a season. He had nothing to do with that. It was all because of the offensive line and running game. I got it. So let's continue to add talent to the roster that will be the reason why said quarterback won't be the reason why he has success again this year, and give the Cowboys defensive help with defensive end Derek Barnett out of Tennessee. To be honest, it doesn't matter who the Packers or the Steelers pick, because the truth of the matter is that whomever they pick will be a solid player that'll pay huge dividends during a deep playoff run for both teams, unless it's a tight end for Green Bay or a flanker for Pittsburgh, because apparently they can't draft those for shit. As the Falcons move out of the Georgia Dome and into the Big Anus next season, they have to make sure that the stink of last year's Super Bowl loss to the New England Patriots is gone, as offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan, who just has a sneaky ass look about himself and posture. I mean, how can you trust this guy to call plays? Look at him. He's now the head coach of the damn near San Jose 49ers. I say that they have to bring in the best offensive coordinator left on the board in Chuck Knox. You know Chuck Knox will come to Atlanta with his entire playbook on a napkin that looks like this. So rest assured that the next time the Falcons are in the situation they found themselves in last year in the Super Bowl, they know exactly what to do. And with the final pick in the first round of this mock draft, 32nd pick overall, the New Orleans Saints find themselves back on the clock because they traded Brandon Cooks to the New England Patriots. That's how they own this selection. We're going to do this pick live on the air, and we bring back Patch Henderson. I say bring back because Patch was an outstanding player last year. Now he finds himself in the draft after putting together a stellar season at Nebraska Southern, home of the Fighting Roses. Patch, thank you for taking time once again, and tell us how you got back to this point.
Well, first of all, when I went last year in the first round, my paperwork wasn't right. So I didn't dot all my I's, cross all my T's. So, when I got to the contract, it looked like Pouch Henderson. And so, they was tripping. And I'm like, whatever, man. I could go back in the draft, go on offense. I struggled a little bit, and I wouldn't even call that struggling because, I'm still going first round because, Patch love the kids. So it is what it is, man. So my paperwork wasn't right. But, I'm back in the first round for the H's.
Well, you look at the fact that you were a quarterback now this year, and your record this season was 2-9, 6 touchdown passes, 37 fumbles, 14 intercepts. But I would say 11 of those weren't your fault. So, do you think you've proven yourself worthy of being a first-round pick?
Well, listen, let me just tell you this. The world should know this. If you say I'm first round worthy, then I'm first round worthy. Because first of all, I just know back in the day you tried to tell him what Russell Wilson was. I remember he called it like a hand of spades. You heard me? Like dominoes. I remember that. And then, it is what it is. I know you tried to tell him about Borders, they ain't listen. Try to tell him about Tannehill, they ain't listen. Try to tell him about Gabbard, they ain't listen. Try to tell him about, I guess some people think, Wentz had a good year last year throwing all hitches and slants and, curl routes, but it is what it is.
Well, I just kind of call it like I see it. If I see a guy has first-round talent, I'm going to say he has first-round talent. Case in point, the kid from Temple, I believe, has first-round talent, and Phillip Walker, who put together an outstanding career. But you moving from defense to offense, in particular the quarterback position, is a very important thing, interesting thing. So what would you say you bring to the table as a quarterback?
Well, I'm going to just tell you this. Out of the 41 scouts I talked to, 46 of them said this. My pocket and manipulation. Manipulation.
What's pocket manipulation?
Hey, listen. It sound good. They say I got it, so I got it. That's what it is. Pocket manipulation. Now, I can tell you one thing. Another thing. Number 2. I climbs the pocket. That's what they told me. I climb. They like how I climbs the pocket. I practice climbing. Like if you climb a mountain, it's the same as climbing the pocket. So I just get on my knees and I get low to the ground and I climb. And then you got to look at the radar gun. The radar clocked me, Patch, Patch. They clocked me at 102. Now, most football players get clocked at around 60. So, I'm going to just tell you this. They think Mahomes got a cannon. I'm going to give him his props. Patch ain't no hater. Patch give everybody their props. But I'm going to say this, man. Mahomes got a cannon. I got a street sweeper. Everybody getting the ball. And if you're not looking, I'm liable to knock your head off. That's how Patch do. So, it is what it is. That's one of my best assets. Then I got the hand size. I was blessed. You understand me? I got the hand size. Climbs the pocket. I got the hand size. Plus, I'm clocking 102 on the radar gun when the next man doing 60. And they took me 30 seconds. You know how lucky the Saints is, man? And then they got me a weapon already with Ted Ginn. You know what type of weapon Ted Ginn is? You ever seen them catch? You ever seen them man-to-man, one-on-one, go up and get it? Hey, listen, I'm going to just tell you this. I'm so happy to be playing with Ted Ginn because, Patch, Henderson, to Ginn, I'm going to just tell you this. Everybody in Miami know the deal. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm LSU blood. It is what it is. That's one of my favorite schools. They got Jarvis Landry, and no slight to him. But I'm going to be honest. And everybody know it is, the world know this. The Dolphins, they still trying to recover from not re-signing Ted Ginn. Still.
Hey, you bring up a good point, so
what the Panthers gonna do?
Right, they got to find somebody to go deep down the field and drop another ball. But
hey, listen, it don't matter if he dropped the ball. The question is, do he have the speed? Hey, I got he got the speed. It doesn't matter if he can't run out there to get it, then it don't matter.
That's true. You got a point, man. Hey, we appreciate you taking time. We wish you the best of luck moving forward, Patch, and hopefully your paperwork right this year as you go into the NFL draft.
Listen. Patch gonna have the paperwork right.